Hi there, Simon from simonwood.com. I've got some weird Spaniards. Actually, I don't know whether I've got some weird Spaniards in front of me. I had a load of Spanish wines that I am going to need to get through at some point. So I plonked all the ones that were made from Tempranillo on one side, and this is what I was left with. So ones that aren't made from Tempranillo, not really all that weird, or are they? Let's dig into the first one, which is called Cien y Pico, which means 100 and something, which apparently relates to the age of the vines, and it's called Cien y Pico Doble Pasta, which is the name of the vineyard, nothing to do with Italian food, and then it's a Tintorera, and Tintorera, or to give it its full name, a Garnacha Tintorero, I think it's a mutation of the Garnacha grape. Where are we here? We're in Manchuela. Well, you don't know where that is, but the Mancha bit might give it away. We're down in La Mancha. So this is, yeah, just give it a whirl. What vintage are you on? 2009, and let's see how we get on. Well, this almost feels like supercharged cough medicine mixed with blackberry jam. There's some of that medicinal herbal character, but then there's this broad, round, dark, ever so slightly baked fruit, ever so slightly jammy character coming through. Doesn't feel like it's going to be fresh and sprightly, but it does feel like it's going to be quite concentrated. Despite it feels like it's going to be a bit more than its 13.5% alcohol would suggest. But that's just the smell. Let's taste it and see where we get. Actually, I was about to taste it then, I stuck my nose in, and there's a more herbal character that's coming out in there. More herbal, more stalky. I don't know whether it's something to do with the grape variety or the soil starting to talk, but it seems to be one of those wines that's big and bruising to start with, but maybe its more cerebral elements come through the more you sniff it. I don't know whether it's the soil speaking there, but there's something like an ashy character, and it feels that, yeah, despite it's weird, it smells like it's going to be rich, but when you come to taste it, it's actually quite reined in, so it feels like someone sort of put a, you know when you buy those pieces of beef that have got like a netting round them to sort of keep it all together, it feels like someone's got put a mixture of acidity, and it says it's got limestone soil. Maybe some of that limestone soil minerality is holding it all together like that to stop it bulging out over the top of its trousers. I find it fascinating. I'm not sure whether I like it, but I'd almost rather have a fascinating wine than one that's easygoing. So I imagine drinking that and sort of going, I like it, I don't like it, I like it, I don't like it. I will report back on which I end up with, because I'm tasting it with some friends later on, and I've only just opened the screw cap, so it may be that in maybe two or 3 hours time it has opened up a little bit more and has broadened into that mesh that's round it. But I'm going to have another taste and see where I get to. Interesting, intriguing. Yeah, a wine I want to come back to. I don't know if you've ever met those people who you think, oh, are they beautiful or are they just weird looking? And then you keep looking at them and you keep looking at them, and then you get arrested for stalking or something like that. But that is a wine I want to stalk and watch what happens to it, because I find it intriguing. Let's see whether I find the next one intriguing. It is the Castaño collection Cepas Viejas, Old Grapes, and it's from, is it Jumilla? Or Yecla. So Yecla in way down in the south of Spain, so south of La Mancha. And grapes here, Monastrell, otherwise known as Mourvèdre, and Cabernet Sauvignon. And this is a bit more conventional. I mean, Monastrell grows really nicely here. Monastrell needs a little bit of heat to get fully ripe, but once it does, it gives these rounded, slightly herby wines that have got quite plush fruit, but have always got a bit of grip and meatiness behind them. Sometimes, if you're in a warm place like this, maybe they benefit from a little bit of backbone, which I suppose is where the idea of the Cabernet comes in. But I stick my nose in there, and it smells soft, rounded, generous, fruity. Smells quite conventional. I'd almost rather that they had a little bit more of the Monastrell in there and a little bit less of the Cabernet. But it smells perfectly decent. There's a sweet, dry, jammy dustiness about that. I get that the dustiness of Spain, but I almost wish they hadn't used the Cabernet there. I think in a place like this, it's probably just that little bit too warm for Cabernet, and it puts the accent on what I call the skinny tannins. If you get those grapes that start to shrivel up, you've got the flavour there, but it's got to a point, and they start to desiccate, and you get these slightly raisiny, berried flavours, and so it's okay, but not as interesting. It's weird, probably a bit more user-friendly than the first one, but nowhere near as interesting. Let's see how we get on with the last one. We're going quite a bit further north in Spain, but still on to a beefy side of wines. We're in Priorat, so this is L'Expresso del Priorat from Cellar Mas La Mola. So grapes here, Garnacha and Carignana. Grenache and Carignan, if you want me to translate into French. And there is no English translation, so I can't translate it into English. And it's got some of the rounded berry characters of the one before, but it's got more freshness, it's got more juiciness. It feels like it's got a bit more character of the soil in there, and they go on about this licorella soil. It's a really fragmented shale soil, fragmented slate soil that you get in Priorat. And sometimes Priorat can go over the top and over raisiny, but here, yes, it feels like it's going to have the concentration, but also the freshness, which a wine always needs. It's juicy, fleshy, and friendly. Soft tannins, but it's got this bite at the end. Just when you think it's going to be a little bit too soft and sloppy, you get this bite of soil, I think, as much as anything. But there's also probably the old vine Carignana, giving freshness and acidity, life, bounce, balance. I like that. Yeah, probably the favourite of the. Yeah, I think very much the favourite of the three. As for the other two, well, the middle one I can take or leave, but the other one I really don't know what I want to do with it. I want to keep trying it, and I don't know, that's what I like about wine. Wines that I can't understand. Because if you think you can understand everything, then you're wrong. There's always something new, more to learn, and that's the sort of wine from which I would be very happy to learn a few lessons. Hopefully you learned a few lessons today. Hopefully you're going to go out and grab, especially the last one, but maybe the first one, just to see how intriguing it is. And I will see you soon. Maybe when I do those other Spanish wines, which I will get round to at some point. Bye.